chase misprinted lies. We face the path of time, and yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to go home. Mm-hmm. 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 My gift of self is raped. My privacy is raped. And yet I find I lost it. I'm sorry. Welcome to another episode of the apocalypse. Damn it. It's so good to see you again. It appears the death camp is already leaking. There's not even any inmates inside of it yet. And it's already in deplorable condition. I can't believe we're even discussing internment camps, death camps, alligator Auschwitz. Anyway, what I woke up to. Paramount to pay Trump $16 million to settle 60 Minutes lawsuit. So here's yet another company, another group of rich individuals that is laying tribute down in front of Donnie's feet under the guise of a settlement. That's what this is. We've seen it several times with several companies. We've seen Zuckerberg do it, etc. The naked, blatant, in-your-face corruption continues up to this moment. So more tribute for Donnie. That's great news, I'm sure. I'm sure it'll really help you out in the trailer park or wherever you are. Nothing against trailer parks. As President of the United States, I'm not going to let this communist lunatic destroy New York. This is Donnie, first thing in the morning, 8:40 a.m., talking about the man who is running Mamdani, whatever his name is. I'm not sure. I'm not paying that close attention. All I know is Donnie really hates the guy. The Reich hates the guy. They got the mayor of New York City in their fucking pocket. And they don't want this guy coming along and fucking that groove up. You know, that took a deal. That took an arrangement to get Mr. Adams on board with the MAGA thing. They don't want to lose that. But again, you've got the President of the United States. This is completely uncalled for. It's ridiculous. It's so fucking over the top. Raw. Again, as President of the United States, I'm not going to let this communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all the levers and have all the cards. Here we go with that story again. No, he doesn't, unfortunately. And honestly, why is he weighing in at all? This is up to the people of New York. The President of the United States should have nothing to fucking do with it. Unless he wants to make an endorsement or something. What is this talking about levers and cards and shit? The guy's running for office in New York. He's not allowed to do that now? Well, in Donnie's Reich, no, he's not. Because they already got the mayor in his... He's already has the mayor in his pocket. He doesn't need this guy coming along and fucking the groove up. So Donnie holds all the levers. He has all the cards again, just like all those trade deals that don't exist. He's still holding all the cards in that one and all the bags too. I'll save New York City and make it hot and great. Both of those are in quotes. Hot and great. I don't know why. Again, just like I did with the good old USA. Yeah, everything's going great. There's, mass layoffs. The dollar's down. The market's down. Everything's down. So yeah, it's going excellent. We need more of Donnie's magic, sprinkled on things. Because, things aren't in the fucking shitter enough. It sure had its effects on what I do. That's for fucking sure. But I knew he would, bring the economy to the shitter. He left last time with the economy in the shitter. Partially not his fault due to COVID. Partially due to his response to COVID. The country, the economy was in fucking shambles when Donnie shitbags left. And, the buck stops with the president, right? So Donnie's going to make New York hot and great again, and what he really means is racist again, and get this, Muslim guy out of here. We got Mayor Adams in our pocket, the Reich, and we don't want this guy messing things up. And then, we don't like him for other reasons as well, which you people are well aware of. But, I mean, what the hell is this? The president basically saying, I'm going to take this guy out? What the fuck is he saying here? Because that's what it fucking sounds like. Caesar made another proclamation. That guy's not allowed to run for mayor of New York. This is Bartiromo on, doing the Fox Business thing. First thing in the morning. This is 9 o'clock in the morning, roughly. Here's what that looks like. And she's got the eager look on her face because she's waiting for the jobs numbers. But Miss Bartiromo expected 95,000 jobs or 100,000 jobs to be added, as if, the employment circle out there expanded. Well, when the numbers came in, it was negative 33,000. She was quite stunned, and they had to think of a go-to to get off that news. So again, we've got negative GDP. We've got the dollar down. We've got the Dow down. We've got 33,000 jobs lost. I mean, what do you expect when men with masks and machine guns are running into businesses all across the country? Maybe people don't want to deal with that. Plus, Donnie running a tariff grift every 3 seconds. The Dow is still not recovered to where it was under Joe Biden. So it was quite Miss Bartiromo, who was expecting a number of 95 or 100,000 jobs added. She got a number of negative 33,000. That kind of fucks up the narrative that the Reich is doing great on Fox, doesn't it? She got real flustered. She wasn't expecting that. She should have, though. I expect the economy to be reduced to, shambles. They got to get you on Donnie coin some fucking how. This is Alligator Auschwitz, and it already has puddles in it. I think that was caused just by a simple rain. So imagine in a, nice tropical storm that happens often down here. So before any poor migrant gets thrown in here for God knows how long, it's already flooding. That doesn't bode well for where this is going, does it? It's costing taxpayers $450 million annually, and Alligator Auschwitz concentration camp is already flooding. Imagine a hurricane. People are going to die. Well, maybe that's the point, son. Maybe it's only a tent camp. It's not really built to resist anything. There's always enough money to hurt folks, but when it comes to public transit, Low-income housing, schools, or public health care. Sorry, we're broke. What the fuck is low-income housing? That exists? Yep, the new death camp in Florida, hastily built with tents in like 8 days, is already flooding, and there's not one person in there yet from a, regular rainstorm. Donnie put this post up, and this was after the jobs numbers came out, I think. Oh no, before the news broke. He put it out about an hour before the jobs numbers of negative 33,000 came out. He wrote this long thing. No, I'm not going to read the whole thing. That's not the point here, to glorify Donnie Shitbags. The point is to give you the point. Nobody wants to talk about growth, which will be the primary reason that the big, beautiful bill will be one of the most successful pieces of legislation ever passed. This growth, that's in all caps, has already begun at levels never seen before. And I'm going to stop right there before we get into the lies. You know how I know it's lies? Because the jobs numbers were negative 33, son. That's how. So who do you believe? Your lying eyes, or do you believe Donnie? I'm going to believe my lying eyes when I look at the numbers. And I see Bartiromo's face like, how are we going to brag about the Reich on this one? Oh, this New York Times trade deal with Vietnam. That's the big news after all these days. I thought there already was a trade deal with Vietnam. Nope, nothing's finalized. Ain't jack shit done with Vietnam. It's still not done, actually. Trump announces preliminary trade pact with Vietnam. That's not even done. And I have his announcement of it. I'll comment then. This is a random poster. One of my favorite Bible verses is the one where it says, when a migrant resides among you in your land, arrest them, lock them in a concentration camp, and if they try to escape, let alligators and pythons eat them. Yeah, that's what you preaching right now, son. If your name's on this, that's your gospel right there. I wouldn't want that to be my gospel. I'd get in trouble for that. Big fucking time. Yeah, it's, let's be honest here. You people are the exact opposite of Christ and his intentions. If you're down with this, it's just like the man said. That verse ain't in the Bible as good. Why? Because it's fucking evil. That's why. It's that simple. And again, it ain't because I don't like you, son. Would Jesus say a concentration camp next to alligators and snakes in a swamp that's already flooded? Would he say that's a good idea? No, Jesus Christ would not say that. I don't care what your pastor tells you on Sunday, son, to make you feel good about being evil and his church being a den of Satan. I don't care. What this man just said is true. You people that have your name on this, you go to church on Sunday as if you're a Christian, as if you're down with Christ. This doesn't sound very Christ-like, and it's on a whole nother level of just, saying fuck out loud or something. Of sin. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Preaching the gospel of lock these fuckers up. I don't know who they are. I don't care. They crossed an imaginary line. Lock them up forever in the swamp. Let the alligators eat them. I don't fucking care. Yeah, that's not Jesus. No. So this guy's spot on with his sarcastic Bible verse. And Donnie wrote this long, here's the deal ain't even done, and Donnie writing this much about it, the Vietnam thing. No, I'm not reading the whole thing. It is my great honor to announce that I have just made a trade deal with the Socialist Republic of Vietnam after speaking with To Lam, the highly respected General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam. It will be a great deal of cooperation. So we're making deals with commies. That's cool. I guess that's why our allies are Vietnam and like Russia now. Yes, he wrote this whole long ass thing, and guess what? The deal still isn't done, son. Donnie's Mein Kampf was called Art of the Deal. Remember that? I don't see him making too many deals. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing a lot of countries just say, fuck off. We ain't paying no crazy tariffs. We're not going to do that. Fuck you. To the point, Donnie's going to have to send out letters saying what tariff they're going to pay. Oh my God, we're so doomed. And yeah, that you can rest easy now. You can relax, people. Donnie made the big trade deal with Vietnam. So we're good now. We're good. Fuck China, Canada, Mexico. Fuck everybody. We got Vietnam, son. That's all you need. Vietnam's the size of what? Like Connecticut or something? I'm not mocking their country. I'm just saying this isn't the big blockbuster trade deals that I was expecting to see. 8 months later, all we got's a concept of a deal with Vietnam. That's all we got. Here's Miss Loomer, just cementing her place in the lake with granite, if that's possible. An actual post from her. I mean, these people are proud of this, and some of you out there are down with this too, these types of messages, these types of thoughts, this type of intention towards other people. Alligator lives matter. Oh, making a joke about a death camp in the swamp again. That's hilarious. I mean, Stephen Miller would love that. Adolf Hitler would love that joke. Maybe Genghis Khan, too. I don't know. Maybe Julius Caesar. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals if we get started now. Miss Loomer, plastic woman, has a number in mind. Now, when I first read this comment, I didn't understand the gravity of what she was saying, the full gravity. Well, some other people noticed. But I'll get to that when I get to that. Remember the number 65 million. Where did Miss Loomer get this number? What's she basing that on? And here we go. A person named El Norte Recuerta. The entire Latino population in the U.S. is 65 million. She means all of us. Indeed. Indeed. Good catch there, because I didn't know that number. And the number kind of slipped by me. That number sounds kind of high, doesn't it? 65 million. That's a damn lot of people, son. No, she meant every Latin person in the country. That's where she got the number. And I saw someone pull up, when you do a search, what number comes up. That number comes up for the amount of Latin people in America. Again, dropping the facade more and more. These people are Nazis. They got an ethnic cleansing operation going. They got a eugenics operation going. They don't like minorities. Any minorities. I don't care who they're friends with at the moment, what communities. I mean, could you imagine writing this about a whole entire group of people and posting it publicly? I don't care if you think it privately, whatever, man. That don't hurt nobody. Posting it publicly, stating out loud in front of other people you want to get rid of every Latin person in this country, a person of Latin descent. Could you imagine saying that out loud? This woman, right, this plastic woman, Donnie's old side piece. She's integral to the Reich and the whole way of thinking, and a lot of you dig this. I mean, how would you like Latin people to say, you know what, we should round up all the white people and ship them back to Europe? They can make that statement publicly, like Miss Loomer did about them. I guess what I'm trying to say is, what level of evil do you people wake up at? When is it too much for you? How low do you go? Calling out for the deportation of a specific ethnic minority, putting the idea forth publicly that they should all disappear. The death camp down in Florida, the death camp in Seacott, the attempted overthrow of the government. What level of evil and lies and abominations do you people say, okay, I've had enough, I can't be part of this anymore? Because my God, what we've seen so far, that only tells me the horrors to come are much worse for everyone, son. Not for just for the people you don't like. And my God, I mean, the thing she said yesterday, the thing she said right here, and I know she goes for shock value as well, but man, to put your stamp of approval, to put your name on this. 65 million meals if we get started right now. And she's not just saying she wants them deported. She's saying the alligators will eat them all. Again, what level of Satan do you say, you know what, I gotta jump off this ship? Because it's going one place, the abyss of fucking hell. And there won't be any water there, that's for fucking sure. There'll be a lot of the other stuff, though. The opposite. I don't know. Even if I thought this stuff privately, to say it out loud and preach it to people and be proud of it. Holy fuck. That's just a whole new level of, or whole nother level of sociopathy. It's fucking insane. And you know what? The Latin people don't scare me. This cunt does. Because she's talking about a whole ethnic minority being eaten by alligators, and she's talking about it in jest as a joke, so you will laugh. Wow, that's some heavy shit, man. Puff Daddy, I'm not spending a lot of time on this. They dropped the more serious charges on him. I knew the fix was in the second that happened. Everyone knows this fucker's crooked as hell. It's been obvious for a long fucking time. He doesn't really hide who he is. And was plenty of testimony to let people know, and video and other things to understand who he is. So he got off. He's going to get a light sentence or no sentence, who knows. And the more serious charges he walked on. They are keeping him in prison till the sentencing, though. I'm pretty sure I read that. That's kind of surprising. But whatever. That's their, prerogative. They let him skate, so I guess they can say, well, you're going to stay till sentencing. And he'll get time served, and so his sentence will be much shorter because of time served as well. So that's the story of Puff Daddy. He can go back to sex trafficking or whatever the fuck he does now. Ordering baby oil, whatever the fuck he does. Again, this is a random poster, and they made an excellent point. The mid-stage of mass deportations, the realization that it's impossible to quickly move tens of thousands of people out of a country, hence the advent of concentration camps. The next stage, looking for ways to dispose of them because it's impossible to house that many people, or you just don't care about them and you say to yourself, I could just pocket the money from the Reich that's paying me to house these people and exterminate them. Then new beds open up too. I can charge more. There are people that think that way and could give a fuck about human life. You think that shit only takes place in movies? You think death camps only exist in movies? Plenty of Reichs have had them throughout history. Do you think exterminating people only happens in movies? Nope. I've said the same thing many times to you where this was going, to that horrific place. Way, 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 way back. And that's where it's going. You're seeing the opening stages of the death camp era. We had CCOT a few months ago. You never leave, and I'm going to prove that to you. With legal documents I'm going to read you at the end. So yeah, once you come to the realization, we're spending a lot on housing, feeding people for the rest of their life. Why not just get rid of them? Since that was the goal all along anyway. We're talking about the Antichrist, son. What do you think he wants to do? We all know where this is going. Even the staunchest rube pretending to still believe the mystique of MAGA. We all know exactly where the fuck this is going. Yes, people will be exterminated. They're a Reich. Literally, I'm not being dramatic. I'm not painting them something they're not. Leon did the Nazi salute. We got death camps. One's going to open up, in a neighborhood near you, I'm sure. What more do you need, son? Where'd it go last time? Exterminating people, demonizing a segment of the population, and exterminating them. And then you extend the umbrella outward until everyone's under the umbrella of we can just grab you, take you to a camp if we don't like you, and kill you. That's where this is going. And every fucking human on earth knows it. This is Ron Filipkowski. I asked AI how closely Stephen Miller's post today aligns with Nazi ideology in 1930s Germany. This is what I got. I'll read a little bit of Miller and a little bit of AI. Sorry, it's starting to rain. I gotta put the windows up for a second. In 5 months, Trump has done more to defeat cultural leftism. See, once you use the phrase cultural leftism, I know you're a sociopath and a psychopath. That's some, Alexander Dugin type shit. Thale would say a phrase like that. Dugin would say a phrase like that. Miller would say a phrase like that. Because these people are deep in that Nazi ideology. They believe it. It's a religion. DEI, trans, illegal discrimination, higher ed indoctrination than had been achieved in 50 years. We cannot save America if we do not save the culture. So we're talking about liberals. We're talking about higher education being ruined by indoctrination by liberals. Here's the question I have. Rubes, are you ready? This is the exact playbook of Adolf Hitler. Lock up the liberals, demonize academia, science, the press, and the authorities. Everything is against liberals and minorities. Illegal race discrimination, DEI. We all know what Mr. Miller means by that. So again, we have a demonization of liberals. We have a demonization of higher education. The people are being indoctrinated. Again, people that studied history know exactly what that kind of talk is about. We cannot save America if we do not save the culture. I didn't know America needed saving, son. See, that's the thing about you people. What, we needed saving from not being as racist as we used to be? Because boy, have we made a comeback in that area. Anyway, here's the AI comparison. The idea expressed in the quote, "We cannot save Germany unless we change the culture," aligns with the core ideology and propaganda of the Nazi regime. The quote's alignment with Nazi aims is as follows: cultural transformation. I'm just going to read the headings. Creating the Volksgemeinschaft. The Nazis aim to create a racially unified German society. Yeah, we know what racially unified means in Nazi world. Propaganda as a tool. We know what that means, and boy, have they been using it. Control over the arts. Stalin took that over immediately when he became president. That's what the Kennedy Center thing is about. That's Hitler taking over the arts, son. I don't know if you noticed that when it happened. I did. They're just following the exact playbook. That's their hero, Hitler, Kim Jong, Putin. They're just following the playbook, and they're turning your country into a third world shithole where corruption reigns. And you're subjugated. Because, boy, Nazis didn't like dissent. I don't know if you noticed that. Control over the arts, promoting Nazi values. Well, we know what that's about, too. So, I don't know. It sounds a lot like what Mr. Miller was doing with his statement. A damn lot like it. And I didn't need that AI breakdown to understand that it sounds exactly like Nazism. These people think they're smart. Again, they're just spouting Nazi doctrine in a modernized, softened form. That's it. Don't worry, the facade will drop more and more, and they will get more honest. Like Miss Loomer, the facade has dropped, a lot on her. She's flat out saying, yeah, let's just feed all the Latin people to alligators. That'll be fun. If we start now. Unbelievable that we're at this point, and some of you out there are down with this. And you consider yourself the good guys. No, you're the Nazi guys. Peter Thiel, co-founder of Palantir, is partnering with Anduril founder Palmer Luckey to launch Erebor. Why do they got to steal every name from Tolkien? These people are evil as fuck. They're all of Satan. And they keep taking names from one of the greatest stories ever written, one of the greatest writers, if not the greatest. A digital bank built to serve crypto companies and tech startups. Gee, I wonder why they want to get into that. Perhaps they know about all of us are going to get switched over to Donny Coin, crypto. Maybe they know the plan. Somebody knew it over 1,000 years ago. Boy, did they call the balls and strikes right so far. Whoever wrote that shit over 1,000 years ago. Like Palantir and Anduril, Erebor takes its name from Tolkien's Legendarium, referring to a fortress of dwarven wealth guarded by the dragon Smaug. Yeah, the dragon. Like Satan. That's what these two fucks are about. Whether they know it or not. Nick Fuentes, everybody talking about the Antichrist. What's up with that? I haven't heard the word Antichrist so many times. Since 2015, like, everybody's throwing it around. I wonder why. Nick Fuentes debunks the dispensationalist argument for Israel. Well, Nick is he's anti-Israel, let's put it that way. A bit racist. So there's a reason he's making this a bit Nazi. They say their religion is alive and their Messiah is yet to come. But who will inhabit the third temple and sit in the Holy of Holies? That sounds like the Antichrist. Indeed, in the story, the part the Jews do not accept is the New Testament. So that part they just disregard. They're still waiting for their Messiah, even though the Jewish Messiah already came in many people's minds, in many people's eyes, named Jesus Christ. They did not accept their Messiah drawn from their own people. Still to this day, they're waiting for the Messiah. The problem is, in the story that we Christians take seriously, it says the guy that comes towards the end of time that the Jews consider Messiah will really be the Antichrist. And when the third temple's built, the Antichrist will do something there that will set all holy hell loose. It will be such an affront to God, such an insult. So Nick doesn't know how right he is. I guess Nick knows a little scripture. Maybe he's studied a bit. And yeah, that guy that sits in the third temple declares himself God in some kind of way. God doesn't take too motherfucking kindly to that. And all hell breaks loose. Gaza's empty. It's an ash heap. They're going to remove the Gazans. They're going to build a resort. They're going to build a temple. Netanyahu already talked about it. I told you way back this was going to happen. You're going to hear whispers. Well, now you're hearing more than whispers. You have Netanyahu saying it outright to a crowd, and you have the finance minister saying it outright to a crowd. And what moment in history would Donnie love that to make about himself more than that third temple being built? Remember the Trump Gaza commercial with the 40-foot gold Donnie statues? That's how Donnie thinks of himself. They showed us, whoever made that. And I didn't see Donnie rebuking it. I see the plan moving forward, just like I thought it would. So yes, son, that's what I've been trying to tell you. That person that sits in the temple, that person that goes in the temple, that's the Antichrist. That ain't the Messiah for the Jews. Unfortunately, the Jews, some of them, are going to look at him as Messiah. Some already fucking do. They think he's the equivalent of King Cyrus or something. He's the savior of fucking Israel. That's how they look at him. Their gateway to rebuilding that temple, the glory for the Israeli people of finally rebuilding that third temple. They're chomping at the bit for it. Not every Israeli, that's not what I'm talking about. The right-wing Israelis, the hardcore religious Jews. Not everyone's down with Bibi and his plan. So Nick does not understand how right he is. This is literally what's going to happen. He explained the story very well, actually. This person, and again, I'm not saying because I don't like a group of people or don't agree with them religiously. I'm just saying what the fucking story says. By my understanding of it. And Nick is right. The guy the Jews consider their savior will be the Antichrist. Their savior already came 2,000 years ago. They didn't accept him. That continues to this day. So that second guy that comes later, around the Third Temple era, he's the Antichrist. So you have a portion of Jews aligning themselves with Nazis who are watching that. That's just astounding to me. Who would have ever fucking thought? But Netanyahu's that crooked, honestly. And again, that person that makes the temple about them, that third and final temple, that's the Antichrist. A portion of the Jewish people will accept him as a kind of savior and treat him as such. And I just picture the day that temple opens, the first public event they have there. I expect Donnie to be there, and I expect him to be honored there. And I'm afraid to actually see him walk into it. What the fuck's gonna happen next? Because that's a moment thousands of years in the making, son. Of the utmost severity. For some reason, God takes that area of the world seriously. He takes that temple seriously when it's built. So for the abomination itself to walk in and be abominable and declare himself God in some kind of fucking way, God does not take fucking kindly to that. And that's a point in the story where, again, everything blows the fuck up. The situation. So I couldn't believe when I saw Nick saying this. Now, Nick isn't saying this for a good reason. He's saying it because he has a thing against Jews, and he always has, and he's a known racist, let's be honest. But he doesn't know how right he is and what he just said to you people. But who will inhabit the third temple and sit in the Holy of Holies? That sounds like the Antichrist. That's exactly who the fuck it is when it happens. Nick nailed it. And the problem is, again, a portion of the Jewish people have aligned themselves with Nazis. Here's something I need to say, and I've been meaning to say. You may have the noblest of causes, okay? And I'm not saying Israel's cause is the noblest of causes. I'm giving you an example of something. You may have the noblest of intentions, the noblest of causes. If you say to yourself, or if you say, I'm willing to work with the devil to make this happen because my intentions are noble and it'll improve the world and it'll be, you know, a glorious thing, blah, blah, fucking blah, whatever you tell yourself, see, you've already lost. Once you make that deal with the devil, once you start working with the wrong people to get your agenda going, you've lost the fight right there. Because now you're making a deal with the devil. Now you're doing evil to end up someplace good. That's not how it works, son. One of the main goals for the Israeli people and Netanyahu is to rebuild their temple. Okay, I have no problem with that. But if you partner up with Nazis, literal Nazis, to achieve that goal, son, you've just made a deal with Satan. You've made a pact. I watch a respected broadcaster that I like hanging out with RFK Jr. trying to get his agenda fulfilled. I lost respect for the man for that. Because now you're making a deal with the devil. It wasn't there was no good partnership with RFK there. But the broadcaster I like, he has a goal that he's been working towards for over 20 years. Put his whole self into it. But if you're willing to work with people like RFK Jr., who's a eugenicist, literally, for the Reich. Again, lists of autistic people, wearables, son, look it up if you don't know. You better ask somebody if you don't know what a wearable is and who talked about it. And that he'd like you to have one on within the next 4 years. You best look into that, son. My point is, people, your goal, maybe you want to end world hunger. Noble goal. Christ-like goal. But you make a pact with the devil to get there. See, there's a problem with that. Now you're doing evil to get someplace good. You can't do that. You will lose God's favor doing things like that, and you will not achieve your goals. So one more time, the guy that's going to sit in the Holy of Holies in the third temple, that kind of sounds like the Antichrist, yes. So since the Jewish people that are down with this Antichrist thing, they've disregarded or they've thrown away the New Testament, they don't take that seriously, that's not the Messiah, that's not who we've been waiting for. Many Jews have been waiting for this person that's coming. That's here, Donnie Shitbags. And they'll look at him as their savior. Look, he was the gateway for our temple. Just like Cyrus. That's where it's going, man. And what really cemented it for me was the commercial with the 40-foot gold Donnie statues. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought to myself, who but the Antichrist would want gold statues of themselves on the Holy Land? Who would dare put that concept forth, that idea forth, hoping people would take it seriously? Well, the Antichrist, of course. So Nick's fucking spot on here. And I'm no Nick Fuentes fan, but he's been talking some shit lately. And yes, some Jews will make the mistake of looking at this Antichrist person as their Messiah that has finally come. And unfortunately for all of us, that goes perfectly in line with the story. That's exactly how it's supposed to go. God's own people not accepting God's own son, if you take the whole book into account. God knew that was going to happen too. Do you understand that? He sent Christ anyway. My God, this, if you've been wondering about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, I definitely have. He's facing trial here, and the judge is afraid to let him out on bail because the Reich is threatening to just ship him back to the death camp. So the case is ongoing and some legal documents have come out. Kilmar Abrego Garcia offered his first account of the severe beatings and other abuses he says he suffered while jailed in El Salvador's notorious CICOT prison. He says in a court filing that he lost 31 pounds in 2 weeks. There's only one way a man can lose 31 pounds in 2 weeks. Starving. That's it. Even if it wasn't 31 pounds, it was 20 pounds, starving. 15 pounds in 2 weeks, starving. And we all know it. Now let's read the excerpts of the legal documents, because you're going to love this. And remember, this is the guy that, we were all talking about for months and months. So he got special treatment. They were worried about him dying. They were worried about what he might say one day. They were worried about the world going on thinking he was dead. And the only reason is because we were all talking about it. So the only reason this man's out here able to even say this shit in a court document is because we out here, we're all talking about it. Otherwise, we would know none of this. Upon arrival at CICOT, the detainees were greeted by a prison official who said, "Welcome to CICOT. Whoever enters here doesn't leave." You hear that when you first get there. These aren't people that ate children or something. Most of them don't even have a record. But, it's a racket. It's about money. And Bukele got 15 billion or 15 million. I can't remember. Billion or million. I can't remember which one. So that's what you hear. That's what innocent man Mr. Abrego heard when he got down there. The guy the government admitted they shouldn't have sent to the death camp. Plaintiff Abrego Garcia was then forced to strip, issued prison clothing, subjected to physical abuse, including being kicked in the legs with boots and struck on his head and arms to make him change clothes faster. His head was shaved with a zero razor. He was frog marched to cell 15, being struck with wooden batons along the way. By the following day, plaintiff Abrego Garcia had visible bruises and lumps all over his body. This just sounds like a fucking horrific death camp nightmare, doesn't it? And remember, he's the famous one. He had people talking about him on the outside. Otherwise, he might have faced much worse. So imagine what the regular prisoners are facing. In a cell, Garcia and 20 others Salvadorans were forced to kneel from approximately 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., with guards striking anyone who fell from exhaustion. Do you hear me, son? You know what that's called? That's called torture. Detainees were confined to metal bunks with no mattresses in an overcrowded cell with no windows, bright lights that stayed on 24 hours, and minimal access to sanitation. I don't know about you, but it sounds like hell, and it sounds like a death camp where you get tortured every day for fun. Congratulations, Rubes. Look what you've done. That's your Messiah that made that happen, son. Why are Christians out here celebrating the possibility of alligators eating migrants? Indeed, Christians out there. Why is that funny? Why is that cool? Why are you all about it? I don't think Jesus would be down. How about you? Oh, that's right. You were never down with Jesus anyway. What am I talking about? Legit question. And you know, again, another part of the story, they will call good evil and evil good in this time we're in. Boy, you're seeing that every day, ain't you? I mean, the majority of the church is down with this, like going along with this. What is wrong with you people? Power's worth that much, huh? Obviously it is. And you people, you know more than anyone what God thinks of that kind of attitude. Well, I got to protect my power. I can't point out the Antichrist. I got to run with it. I got to roll with it. Even though I've been, preaching the word of God for 40, 50 years. That's where you people are at. A lot of you, if you got your name on it. And I know that most of the church does, let's be honest. It said in the story, even the elect will be fooled, misled. The thing that word elect should be in quotes. It's not the elect. It's the fake-ass church we've been witnessing for thousands of years. They're the ones that get fooled. The ones not written in the book of life. During his first 2 weeks at CCOT, Abrego Garcia suffered a significant deterioration in his physical condition, lost approximately 31 pounds, dropping from approximately 215 pounds to 184 pounds. April 9, Garcia and 4 others were transferred to a different module in CCOT where they were photographed with mattresses and better food, photos that appeared to be staged to document improved conditions. They tried that when Senator Van Hollen met with Abrego. They tried putting martinis there so they could say, look, they're having martinis. How bad is it really for Abrego? I wouldn't have gave a fuck if they were having a martini or not. You still running a death camp, son. You wouldn't have fooled me with that one. But the rubes will take the talking point. Why? Because that justifies the Satan within them. It gives them the ability to sleep at night. Oh, that Abrego guy, he was drinking cocktails with a Democratic senator. So, then the death camp's justified in Jesus' land. No, it's never justified, son. I don't care if it has an R next to it. That's your bag. That's not Christ's bag. That ain't my bag either. That's a fucking problem. That you think it's good because it has an R next to it. Unfortunately, we're all going to have to suffer it because you think that way, unfortunately. So, no mattress. They've staged photos trying to make it look like he was living in better conditions than he was. He lost 30 fucking pounds in 2 weeks. That tells me starvation right there amongst the beatings and the other things. Sounds great. And you got your name on it. I suggest you get it the fuck off. Right now. Here's Donnie talking about the vote tonight. He wants his bill voted on because 4th of July is 2 days away. It looks like the House is ready to vote tonight. We had a great conversation all day, and the Republican House majority is united for the good of the country, delivering the biggest tax cut in history. It's a pure grift. It's a horrible bill. It'll put the nail in the coffin of America, and yes, it'll pass. Because no one has a spine, son. He wants it passed tonight. He wants to celebrate on the 4th with his big signature piece of, end of America legislation. And then Donnie, to end our evening here, Donnie talking shit on Jamie Raskin. A third-rate Democrat politician has no idea what is in our fantastic tax cut bill, nor would he understand it if he did. This dope has been consistently losing to me for years, and I love watching his ugly face as he is forced to consistently concede defeat to Trump. And tonight should be another of those nights. Raskin is a bad politician and a total loser. Yeah, this is totally normal, right? See his ugly face, the whole thing. Would Biden write this? No. Would Obama write this? No. Would George Bush write this? No. Only one guy, the Antichrist, would write this. Yes, he's the Antichrist. You're in the apocalypse. He's a fucking maniac. He's a sociopath with a God complex. And he's going to offer you a mark. And you best not take it, son. That's all I got to say. Unfortunately for me, I don't have a lot of time left. I'll stay with you as long as I can until I can no longer function. It's getting pretty dire. I don't know what to do. So if you can help, I appreciate it. I'll put the PayPal at the top of the comment section again. It's getting ugly. I'm just letting you know. I really want to keep going with this, though, till, the Reich arrests me and puts me in a detention camp or something. Because I know that's where it's going for a lot of people, especially dissidents or people that talk negatively. It's definitely going there. So I wanted to stick it out till then. I'm going to try, man. I'm going to fucking try because this is dire and important, and I realize that more and more every day. I really want a day to come along where I say, you know what, it wasn't that bad. Maybe I'm wrong. No, that never comes. The death camp is already leaking in Florida. The death camp in El Salvador, we have no idea if those men are dead, alive, whatever. And yes, it appears it's going to go to that extermination place, unfortunately. I don't want to be right again, people. It doesn't make me feel good. But anyway, again, I got to go. And if you can help out, I'd really appreciate it. Until the next episode, have a wonderful evening.